Welcome to C programming class. In this video, I will cover two-dimensional array. In previous video, we discussed one-dimensional array. Please watch that video to understand two-dimensional array in better way. Two-dimensional array has two subscripts to represent row size and column size. In one-dimensional array, we had only one subscript. We'll see the array declaration to understand two-dimensional array in better way. The syntax is data type space array name. First subscript will give row size, second subscript will give column size. Row size will give number of rows, column size will give number of columns. You can imagine this concept as a matrix operation. In matrix, we can find row and column. Same way, we are going to store element in two-dimensional array. To perform matrix addition, matrix multiplication, matrix subtraction, we need to use two-dimensional array in C program. Now, example, int matrix size 3 into 3. So matrix size is 3 into 3, 3 rows, 3 columns, and number of elements will be 9. Row size into column size will give number of elements that can be stored in the two-dimensional array. Another example, matrix B, here row size is 5, column size is 5. Total 25 elements can be stored. Row size into column size will give number of elements. So I'll consider matrix 3 into 3 and two-dimensional array name is matrix and 3 columns and 3 rows. Total 9 elements can be stored, and how elements can be stored and how it looks in memory location. We'll show through this diagram. See this diagram here, 3 rows, 0 row, 1 row, and row number 2. Starts row and column, it's always starts from 0. Here 0th column and column number 1 and column number 2. Okay, 3 rows, 3 columns. Okay, for example, if I want to access particular element from this array, how I need to use coding statement. For example, if I want to access 10, how I can write two-dimensional array. See, matrix 0 0. If I write like this access the element 10, 0th row and 0th column. If I want to access 60, then how I can write matrix? Here I can write matrix 1 and 2. Which row? Row number 1. Which column? Row number 2. The intersecting point will give the location and element in that location. And very important concept is initialization of two-dimensional array. Different ways are there. Different ways are there to initialize the array elements. And this is the one way. Here, array name is ABC. So column size 3, row size 3. Total 9 elements can be stored. First 3 elements will be stored in first row. Next 3 elements will be stored in second row, and last 3 elements will be stored in third row. Okay, and or this is another way to initialize the elements. we can partition the row elements in square bracket. First 3 elements will be written. Again, to write second 3 elements, again it is partitioned using square bracket lower bracket. So this is another way to initialize. See here, like this also we can initialize the elements. Here we have not mentioned row size, still it will work. The compiler dynamically allocate the row size 3, but this type of initialization is not accepted here. So this is not valid. That's why I have marked not valid. The thing is, when we initialize two-dimensional array, there must be column size. If we don't use column size, then it will not be accepted. It is invalid. Here we don't have row size, but we have column size. It is accepted. Here we have no row size and no column size. As per the rule, column size is mandatory. That's why it is invalid. If we have row size and no column size, again it is invalid. Condition is column size should be there. Okay, now we will understand the two-dimensional array through programming example. This is a program to read and display 6 numbers. We need to enter 6 elements to the two-dimensional array. Next, we need to display. Okay, in one-dimensional array, we used one for loop because we had one subscript. In two-dimensional array, we need 2 for loop for 2 subscript. The first for loop for row, second for loop for column, and we need to write second for loop inside the first for loop. Okay, we will see the example. Here I have one array. That array name is num, and the size of that array is 2 into 3. That means 2 row, 3 column. 2 into 3. Total 6 elements can be stored in that array. And I have 2 control variable I and j. The first control variable I is used for first for loop, and second control variable j is used for second for loop. Okay. Okay. Enter any 6 numbers. Now you start to enter 6 numbers from the keyboard. How it can be added using for loop, we'll see now. The first for loop, the size of row is 2. The first for loop is for row. Inside the first for loop, we need to write second for loop for column. Size of column is 3. That's why I have written maximum number, that is 3. Okay, inside this second for loop, we need to write scanf. Okay, now to display also, we need to use 2 for loop. Now this is a program to read 6 numbers and to display that 6 numbers. Okay, and we will trace this program. Okay, how for loop will execute. I told here we need to use 2 for loop. First for loop, inside that for loop, we need to write second for loop. Now, first statement, num, memory is allocated now, but we don't have elements to this array. and we will add elements now. So to add elements, we need to execute this for loop. Inside the for loop, we have scanf function. Now later that scanf function will take value from the keyboard and that will be stored in the locations. Enter any 6 numbers. How element will be added? See, the first iteration, that is I iteration. So now first for loop will start to execute. What is the condition given? I less than 2. And what is the value of I here? Initial value of I is 0. 0 less than 2, it is true. If it is true, control will go inside. Inside we have another for loop. Now again this for loop, second for loop will start to execute. In second for loop, j is initialized to 0. Second for loop, j is initialized to 0. 0 less than 3, it is true. If it is true, then statements inside the second for loop will start to execute. Statement inside the second for loop is scanf. Scanf will take first element 10 and that will be stored in num of I and j. So what is the value of I? I value is 0. What is the value of j? J value is 0. Num of 0, 0. So num of 0 row, 0 column. So element will come here. The 10 will be assigned to num of 0, 0 and element will be placed here. Okay, after executing this scanf, control will go to updating part of second for loop because second for loop is not yet finished. Now j value is 1 after incrementing by 1. Now again condition check, 1 less than another iteration, 1 less than 3, it is true. If it is true, again scanf will execute. Second element that will be stored in num of I, j. What is the value of I? I is 0 only. Only j incremented here. J is 1. Num of 0, 1. 20 will be assigned to num of 0, 1, 0 row, first column, 1, column number 1, 20. Here the 20 will be stored. J will be incremented by 1. J value is 2. Next iteration, j is equal to 2. 2 less than 3, it is true. If it is true, scanf will execute. In scanf, enter element 30. 30 will be assigned to num of I is j. I value is 0. J value is 2. 30 will be assigned to num of 0, 2. Row number 0, column number 2. Element stored. J increment. J value is 3. Next iteration, j is equal to 3. 3 less than 3, it is false. Now j for loop will exit. After exiting j for loop, control will move back to the I for loop. In I for loop, it will go to updating part. What is the value of I? Initially we had I value 0. Now after increment, it will become 1. Okay. So next I iteration, I will be compared with the 2. I value is 1. 1 less than 2. It is true. If it is true, again control will go inside the I for loop. Inside the I for loop, we can find j for loop. Again this j for loop will execute like previous one, but here I value is 1. In previous case I value is 0. Okay, now I value is 1 and j for loop will start to execute. J iteration inside the I value I for loop and I value is 1. J value is 0 because J for loop starts to execute again. J value is 0, 0 less than 3, it is true. If it is true, scanf will execute and we enter 40 and element 40 will be stored in num of ij. Here I value is 1, j value is 0. Num of 1, 0. The 40 will be stored in num of 1, 0 and j increment. J value is 1. The next iteration j is 1, 1 less than 3, it is true. If it is true, scanf will execute. Element will be stored in, entered element will be stored in num of ij, num of 1, 1, 50. The 50 will be assigned to num of 1, 1. Same way, j will get incremented by 1. J value is 2. J is 2. 2 is less than 3. True. If it is true, scanf will execute. Element will be stored. Element 60 will be stored in num of 1, 2, row 1, column 2. J will get incremented by 1. J value is 3. 3 is less than 3. False. J for loop will exit. Control will move back to I for loop. In I for loop, I will increment by 1. I value is 2. Next, I is equal to 2. 2 less than 3. False. Okay. Even I for loop will exit. So now 6 elements stored in the two-dimensional array num. So we have seen how elements stored in two-dimensional array. Same way we are going to display that 6 element here. Numbers are 10, 20, 40, 50, 60. So note down one thing here. Element, first 3 element will display 10, 20, 30 in first row. Next element will display in second row. But how to display on monitor in the same format? For that, we need to use printf /n. See here, if we don't write this statement printf inside the printf/n in double quote, so then your element will display 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 in one line. If we use here, then it will display in this format. Where to use that printf? After closing j for loop, means inside for loop, we need to write printf. After closing inside for loop, we need to write this printf of /n. Next, we need to close the first for loop. Okay, so don't forget, because sometimes we need to perform matrix operation. Matrix operations means element will display like this. Okay, output of this program is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. You may get output if you don't use printf, but display format will be continuous 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Okay, it will be difficult to identify as a matrix. We will see another program. It's same as previous program, and this program is to read and display matrix elements. Here I have two-dimensional array matrix, and size is same as previous program, 2 into 3, two rows, 3 columns. Enter elements to the matrix. I need two for loops. Inside that I'll write here not num, it is matrix. Okay, don't be confused here. It is matrix. I'll change that now. Matrix. Next. numbers are. Okay, now this is the program. It's same as previous program only. Inserting elements are same as previous program. I will not explain. I will for this program. So I will not take longer. See, this is just imagine matrix structure will be like this. Enter elements to matrix, not number. Enter elements to matrix. Working of for loop, same as previous one. Okay, now I'll stop here. See here, in previous program, after closing J for loop, I had written printf of /n. Here I have not written. So you can see the output now. See, if I don't use that printf of /n, your output will be like this. Now I will write printf here. After adding this, my program will be, see, output will be like this. Now that is the difference. Okay, I hope you understood the concept of two-dimensional array. It's a easy concept if you understand single dimensional array. So that's why I suggest you to watch my previous video. After that, you can continue two-dimensional array. And next, I will go to the logic of matrix addition. Okay, I will not write full program. Addition of two matrices. Inserting elements, we need two for loop. Already we have seen that. Display also same thing. In for matrix addition, I need three matrix. Matrix A is a first matrix and second matrix. After adding A and B matrices, that result will be stored in another matrix, that is C. To perform addition also same thing. You need to perform using two for loop. First for loop, second for loop. Inside the second for loop, we need to write the logic. The simple logic is C of ij is equal to A of ij plus B of ij. Now this is the first matrix, second matrix. These two will be added, result will be stored in matrix C. Here M and N. M is the row size, N is the column size. If M value is 5, it will take 5. If N value is 3, it will take 3. If M value is 4, number of rows are 4. N value is 3 means number of columns are 3. Okay, this is the logic you can use. And remaining things are same as previous program. Only these logic will be added in the middle. First, insert the elements to both matrix. Okay. Next, perform addition. Next, display the result of matrix C. This program looks big, but logic is simple. Okay. I hope you understood, and go through the both video and you will understand the concept in better way. Thank you.